A woman who appears to be a beautiful young woman, but in reality, she's a murderer who won't even spare her own child. Even the cripple took one look at her. She beat him to death with her crutches. A few days ago, Lisa brought her son to the countryside for a holiday. The enthusiastic owner wanted to invite Lisa to dinner with him, but she refused. At this time, the boss did not know. This sweet-looking woman will pull himself into an endless abyss. At first, everything was quiet, but at night, Lisa watched the boy eat. Shortly after, the woman came into the living room covered in blood. Then she calmly turned on the record player. Then she picked up the toilet brush and turned into the bathroom. But the next day the boss found Lisa gone. The only thing left on the table was the key to the room and some money. And the record that was playing caught his attention. When the man went to check it out, he realized that the record was covered in blood. Realizing something was wrong, the boss immediately went to the room where Lisa had stayed, but it was eerily clean. But when he went into the bathroom, he couldn't breathe. All he found was a brand new toilet brush. To find out what happened to the blood on the record, the man immediately went to his car. He took out the memory card from the car recorder. He saw Lisa leaving with a heavy suitcase, and the little boy was nowhere to be seen, and he was struggling to lift it. When he saw this, the boss understood everything. He wanted to call the police, but he stopped, because if the police intervene, he can't run his BB. In the end, the man chose to hide it. Then he cleaned the room carefully and burnt everything Lisa had used. He restored everything to the way it was before, just when he thought everything was over. But on that day, there was a sudden roar from downstairs. The owner was shocked when he saw the owner of the car. Lisa wanted to stay at the hotel, but the man refused. Coincidentally, the owner's daughter also came back from the city. Lisa went up to the owner's daughter to make a gesture of friendship. The girl saw Lisa alone and invited her to stay. When he heard this, the man's head instantly tingled. He suspected that the girl was a psychopathic murderer. Sure enough, the woman brought a different colored suitcase this time. Only this time she was alone. At night, the woman changed her clothes and gave a bottle of red wine to the boss's daughter as a token of her appreciation. The man was about to leave when the woman stopped him. Lisa said she wanted to hear the same old record, but the owner refused, explaining that the machine was broken. The woman smiled strangely. After dinner, her daughter left the BB with her friends. The owner and the woman were the only ones left in the room. But the next morning, Wang heard a strange noise in the courtyard. He went out to see his wife shoveling with a shovel. He couldn't help but go over and hug his wife. Unexpectedly, the woman in front of him was Lisa. It turned out to be a dream of the man. The man went out of the room, but the woman drove back from outside and brought her breakfast. Then she went to the pool for a swim, and the man couldn't help asking why the boy didn't come. But the woman didn't seem to care. She explained that the boss must have mistaken her for someone else. Then she dove into the pool and swam, but the man couldn't figure it out. It was the same woman. He couldn't understand why the woman lied. For a few days, the boss and the woman were fine. But this morning, the accident happened again. It turned out to be the boss's fantasy again, and Lisa also admitted that she was the same woman. The man was instantly terrified. What's more surprising is that he found his daughter's head was marked in red in the family photos. The man was afraid that his daughter was in danger, so he drove to the city that day to find his daughter. Unexpectedly, he saw Lisa's figure across the road again. He chased after her as if by magic, but the woman seemed to have disappeared without a trace. Then the man went to visit his friend. He asked if he remembered the woman who came to the BB with the child, because he suspected that the woman had killed the child. What he didn't expect was that the woman suddenly appeared and killed his friend. It turns out that this is still a man's fantasy. Since the woman appeared again, he's been living in fear every day, especially after she helped him hide the murder. The anxiety is like a thorn in his side, so he had to stop her. So he took advantage of the woman's swim. He went through the woman's bag. He tried to find something that could prove her identity, but he found nothing. Then he quietly checked the woman's computer, but the computer was password protected, but he couldn't open it. Finally, he picked up the computer and went to a repair shop, but the staff told him forcibly unlocking the computer will format all the data inside. It seems impossible to get the woman's identity from the computer. Unbeknownst to him, during the time he was away, the woman had already planned an accident for him.